Welcome back, everybody. I haven't seen this computer since I moved to this location in 2010. It's kind of nice to see one of your old computers come back, especially one that you put a lot of effort into. This computer is an old computer, but it's still up and moving. Part of it's because the customer's been blowing it out. Another reason might be because we're reusing an old HP case that has really thick steel. I don't know, maybe they made those parts better back in the day. The motherboard is a Gigabyte AM3 motherboard. This is when the AM3 processors just first came out. It's all the AMD motherboards were the first to feature USB 3.0 too, actually, before Intel did. The graphics card is an XFX single slot 5770, which is 3 monitor capable. And this computer is for a customer who wanted to use it for financial day trading, stuff like that, stocks and things. So the multi-monitor setup at that time was only available through AMD graphics cards. Really, it was featured on the 5000 series cards before it was even available in the NVIDIA platform. And during those days, you needed 2 NVIDIA cards to do a 3 monitor setup. Let's see what else is there, but yeah, it's a basic build. It's a Athlon 640 running at 3 gigahertz, and it originally had 4 gigs of DDR3. I put in a single stick of DDR3 4 gig stick, and so now it has 8 gigs. What else? We changed out the thermal paste, put some Arctic silver in there, and put some Arctic silver on the graphics card, cleaned out the whole system. I can't tell you the number of the model number of the motherboard right offhand, but it's still, I'm trying to zoom in, and if you can see, it's still rocking an IDE slot and floppy. That's pretty kick-ass, huh? I'm sorry, just IDE, no floppy. But it even has FireWire too. So the case actually cut out. So you see there's a cutout here, and that took a long time. And the cutout is actually, why did I do that? Because we cut out a side of the side case fan. So here we go. Here is the side case. This is an HP case, but we put a Thermaltake fan right there. And this steel is incredibly thick. Thick steel. Doesn't even, it's heavy. Even the side panel is heavy. So what I did back in the day was I actually took a machine cutter and I cut out a space for a 120 millimeter intake fan. And so there was an issue of airflow, but that was solved with putting this fan there. And so we need the fan actually protrudes out like this on the back. See, it protrudes out like this. So we had to cut out a side of this, and then you can close it in like that. But it's back for work. There's a Windows 10 update on it, but then we are going to go back to a 240 gig SSD from PNY, and we're going to update the computer with that. And we're going to do, I'm sorry about that, guys. We're going to do a mild overclock to 3.4 gigahertz, and the computer should run pretty good. So what I'm going to do is just put the computer together, update the computer with the SSD, and then go back to Windows 7 actually, because Windows 10 on the customer's hard drive is actually corrupted, and there's no way to actually refresh, reset, or even download a new copy, and the customer just doesn't want to spend that much money on the copy of Windows 10. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to his original copy of Windows 7. So stay tuned. Okay, I guess the customer had a change of mind. His wife actually came in with him, and they saw how awesome the multitasking was with the PNY 240 SSD that they wanted, that his wife wanted it for her laptop. And so we're going to put in a Samsung 500 gig 750 EVO into the desktop. We're going to take their 240 gig PNY SSD, and we're going to install it into his wife's laptop here. A nice little i5 touchscreen Elite book with pen and pencil and stuff like that. It's just that I can't even get it open on though. Bit older, but still runs really well. and so I'll probably do a little separate video on this HP update. But yeah, just wanted to add this in because later on it's going to look really weird saying I was going to put a 240 gig PNY, and you know, in the end there's a Samsung 500 gig 750 SSD in there. So okay, now I finally got the Samsung 750 EVO 500 gig installed. Right now all I'm doing is transferring the customer's old data into the SSD, and then I'm going to wipe out the old hard drive and use it as a storage drive. So that's where we're at right now. But you know, a lot of people, again, I do a lot of these SSD upgrades, but a lot of people are wondering, like, you know, what's the big deal? You know, does it really help that much? Now keep in mind that this is a Phenom, I'm sorry, not a Phenom, it is a Anthlon X4 640 running at a stack speed of 3 gigahertz. I've done a mild overclock to 3.4 gigahertz, added 4 gigs of RAM, so it's running 8 gigs of RAM, DDR3, running at roughly 1600 megahertz. It's got a XFX 5770 single slot, 1 gig GDDR5. It's got an old Raymax power supply, and that's about it. And it's running a higher end during that time. I believe this is a gigabyte. It's one of the 880 series. I can't remember right off the tip of my tongue, but it's got an IDE connector for, believe it or not, like IDE hard drives and floppy drives. But it has native SATA 3, 6 gigs per second. So it's got FireWire and USB 3 in the back. So it's a bit of a jumbo of technologies in this little micro board, and it's a really well built board. It's fairly pricey during the day. I believe it was like $140 too for a micro for ATX micro ATX board. So I'm gonna go to the screen right now, and I apologize if this is shaky. I'm trying to lower the camera without, you know, it being too ungodly shaking. And what I'm doing right now is we're doing a data transfer from the old hard drive to the new hard drive, and I'm going to turn off this light and so we can get a better idea. So transferring roughly 186 gigs of data, and it's transferring as fast as that hard drive will go, roughly 46 minutes or 30 some minutes. You know, it varies depending on what the file is, but I wanted to show you what it could do. And so a lot of people, you know, wonder, what can an SSD really do? Is it worth it? You know, quite frankly, right now technology has progressed to the point where everything's pretty quick. Memory's quick, you know, processors are quick enough, RAM is quick enough, and the only thing really holding things back is really the hard drive. So let's keep this data transfer going. Okay, so we're going to keep this data transfer going in the background, and we're going to open up Microsoft Word. Okay, and we're going to keep all these going at the same time theoretically, just to see what it could do. And so this is going to be Excel, and Excel popped up, Excel 2007, and then let's do a PowerPoint. Let's just say for the sake of keeping it up. Okay, and we're doing a data transfer while we're doing all this, mind you. Okay, let's get a PDF, Adobe PDF reader up, Adobe Acrobat, and let's at the same time let's get well, here's Specky, so we can get an idea of what the motherboard number is. So I can read you off the motherboard. It is the Gigabyte GA880 GMA UD2H. So basically that's what I'm gonna turn off that phone real quick. So this is what's in the computer right now. But let's keep that temperature monitoring program up. Okay, and why don't we open up a Google Earth? So, you know, we're just gonna open up Google Earth Pro. I don't know what they did with the Pro. I guess it's a freebie thing now for everybody. It's a Pro. Okay, so I'm going to open up the task manager and see what we're, you know, how this is working out here. So if we open up the task manager, we see that we're running about 2.53 gigs of RAM, and CPU usage is not too big of a deal. Now we're keeping all this open, and why don't we do we'll open up Google, and why don't we go to YouTube? Okay, we'll go to YouTube, but you know what? So we don't get a YouTube strike, we're gonna open up one of my videos. I don't know why I never thought about that. So we're going to open up one of my videos. So It's my video playing on YouTube, so YouTube can't give me a YouTube strike. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up one of these videos here.
With Wix, you have the power to build stunning professional websites.
Okay, so
be in control.
You know, we're gonna skip this ad, and then we're gonna, here we go. This is one of my videos here. Okay, so we got that streaming, and we're not missing a beat here. And we're going to open up another one of my videos, okay? And we're gonna open up it in a new link here. Okay. Oh no, that's not one of my videos. We're gonna go again, open up this is a new video here, and we're gonna do the GTX. Let's see this. Do this video here. Okay, now that's popping up. Do you see how that popped up? And now we're gonna open up another video. If we can find another, let's open up another. We'll open up another here, and we're gonna open up this video here. And so now you see, we're not missing a beat. There's no stuttering, there's no nothing. And we have all these programs open here. Okay, and let's open up Firefox. And we'll have Firefox as just a different browser opening on the side here. And Firefox is oh, this is the first time we're not doing this, so let's do LOR LLC YouTube, and there we go. One of my old videos, Carbide unboxing build, and that's running right off of a Google search right here. So it's gonna link up to, and it's doing a how about that? We're gonna skip this. So there we go, and then we got this. And so we're still doing the data transfer. Okay, and so I'm gonna turn down the audio on this. Now, if you can see, let's pull up a CPU usage task manager. Now we're running roughly 4 gigs of RAM, 62 CPU usage, while transferring data at 88 megabytes per second. So this is what an SSD can do. We have all these programs open up, Google, everything here, ton of videos here, and a video on one of my videos again, YouTube, don't give me a strike. And let's say this is what the computer is running, you know. The computer is running at 3.4 gigahertz, 8 gigs of RAM, Windows 7 Home Premium. That is what an SSD can do. And granted, we have a Samsung 750 EVO, which is a high-end SSD, but again, a lot of people are wondering what's the big deal. This computer I built in 2000, 2010, and it's still running strong, so that's what this computer, that's what really good components will get you, regular maintenance will get you, and an update, and so this is more than what most people will ever be able to use at home, quite literally, and so an SSD definitely is worth it if you have a decent 4-core or a fairly modern 4-core, and you're just doing work like this. For people who game, of course, maybe not, but for everybody else who's using it for basic office work and things like that, you'd be surprised what an SSD can do. Any questions or comments, guys, please post them at the bottom of the video. Any suggestions for new videos, and such, also post them at the bottom of the video, see if we can get going on them.